Alright, before we sharpen my everyday carry pocket knife, let's go through the evolution of my sharpening experience here. On the right, we have an old-fashioned oil stone. This one takes oil, and my granddad gave this to me when I was just a young lad, as it were. I almost never use this, but I keep it for really rough work. Then I moved up to soaking stones, and I got a 400-1000 combination stone that came with this little rubber base. And if you're just getting into sharpening by hand, I really would suggest one of these. Not necessarily this kind, any budget stone will do, but they cut well, and it's a cheap way to get into it to see if you like it and are going to stick with it. However, if you do continue with it, I suggest you get one of these bases. It brings the stone up off of the ground just enough to give you that knuckle clearance that you're going to want when sharpening. But after that, because I'm so impatient, I just don't have the time to sit around and let this soak for 20 or 30 minutes. So as soon as I learned about splash and go stones, I did a little research and landed on Sharpening glass stones. Now, these aren't glass, they're not made out of glass, but the base is glass, if you can see there. That's why they're called Sharpening glass. And in my opinion, they're the best stone that I've ever used. They're wider than most stones this way, which I really like, but they just cut like crazy, and that's what I'm looking for. You can see here that it's in a holder that spans over top of this base. For me, this was a game changer. I got sick of the mess and started looking into pawns. Sharpening glass makes their own pawns, but it is stupid expensive. I mean, stupid expensive. I think they want like $500 for one of these things, which is crazy. I'm not afraid to spend money on good quality tools. I mean, these aren't cheap. These are $40, $50 a stone, but you're going to have them for a long, long time. But I'm not spending $500 on a pond. So I suffered for a while until I came across a YouTube channel. He goes by Burrification. Check him out. He made this pond and sells it on his website for like $120. It's all anodized aluminum with a solid rubber base. I mean, this thing is heavy, and you can use both sides of it. Well worth the money, in my opinion. He also recommended these, which were a game changer for me. These are rust erasers for kitchen knives. Now, I don't use them for that purpose. I use them to clean my stone off after I'm done with them. And they work better than these nanowall stones. These nanowall stones are for conditioning and for cleaning, but in my opinion, these work better. Check them out. They're like $2 a piece, and I've had this one for a year now. So that's pretty much the evolution of sharpening for me. I'd love to hear your guys' experience with this and which stones you prefer. The main thing for me, as I said, is because I'm impatient, these aren't soaking stones, they're just splash and go stones. So a little bit of water and you're ready to go. Alright, we got our stone, we got our water, we got a paper towel, and as much light as possible. That's the main thing. Let's get to sharpening. The knife in question here is my everyday carry Spyderco. This isn't one of their expensive ones. This is probably $40 made in China, but I carry it every day. As you can see, it gets used and abused. And it's not extremely dull, so we're just going to go with a 500 stone here. I rarely go above 1,000 with any of my knives, but especially ones that get used like this. I mean, this thing's nasty. So let's go ahead and clean it off just a bit here before we start. Got to be careful when you're cleaning. I think I cut myself more when I'm cleaning my knives, especially when I'm not paying attention, than I do when I'm using them. All right. Go ahead and hit the stone with the nanowall. Not really necessary. I don't know about you guys, but I love that sound. All right, let's get sharpening. Find that bevel and get cutting. You can see the steel it's removing. It moves steel quickly. This cuts really fast, so you don't want to spend too much time here. That's it. When you switch sides, you can either push back like this, but I like to be able to see the shadow under the bevel, so I switch hands. It may take some getting used to for you to do that, but that's how I do it. I usually do 1 or 2 full strokes just to make sure I'm on the angle I want to be before I start going back and forth. And I do push and pull strokes for the most part. If you're just starting, it might take you a while to get used to holding these angles, but they don't have to be perfect. Just do the best you can and lighten up on pressure as you get close to finishing. Just feeling for that burr. Ooh, it's sticky as a cat's paw right now, but I'm gonna give it 1 or 2 more light strokes. I don't count strokes either. If that helps you, go ahead and do that, but I don't find it necessary. That's it. I mean, that's all I really do for a pocket knife. I'm going to take it up to 1,000, but this is perfectly serviceable right now and perfectly usable as a pocket knife. It will even shave hairs if that's what you want it to do. See that? That's 2 seconds on a 500 stone on a knife that was clearly abused. I'm going to go ahead and jump up to the 1,000, but you guys get the point. This is down and dirty, nothing fancy. I'll see you on the next one.